Happy April, Washington Township. I am your proud superintendent, Dr. Woodson, and we are filming here at Northview Middle School today. Today, I have a very special guest joining me. Mr. Tom Lange is joining me here at Northview to talk about something that's really unique and special for our community. This concept is called lion catchers, and the first question I have for you is, how did the concept of lion catchers come to you, and how did this thing get started?
Right. I was tutoring at Fox Hill Elementary School for about 4 or 5 years, and just started to just love being with the young people and noticing, as great as the teachers and faculty are, there's a lot of need in the school and in the classroom. So we put together a tutoring program, and I just fell in love with it. And I started to understand, for students to learn, there's a lot of wraparound services that would be helpful to improve their performance in the classroom.
Absolutely. And let's be clear, this tutoring you are providing was volunteer work. The people that you brought to support you were also volunteers, and you were actually working full-time at the same time.
Right. A lot of times people think of volunteers in school being retired people. I was working at Eli Lilly and Company, and started this it actually started before me. So I was just a volunteer, and then I began to run the tutoring program. And we recruit tutors from all over the community. Some are retired people, many are professionals still working, and now we're reaching into our high schools and pulling out awesome tutors from our high schools.
Very exciting. I remember sitting in my office, our former director of elementary education, Marcia Reynolds, came down with one of those smiles that you knew she was on to something special. She said, "I have somebody I want you to meet." And she said, "This is Tom Lange," and she introduced me, and she said, "He wants to impact our entire community." And I was a bit jaw-dropped by this concept. And so since that time, from Fox Hill starting this volunteer program to the time Marcia came to my office with you to introduce you, you have retired from Lilly, and you have launched into this community-wide impact idea and strategy called Lion Catchers. Tell us a little bit about why it's called Lion Catchers.
Well, Lion Catchers is a great name. It's based on an Ethiopian proverb. In our very first meeting, which is just exactly a year ago, it was March 19th of last year, Marcia brought some leaders together. I brought some community leaders together, and we talked about this need to help our children with education, and we talked about multiple services that are awesome services already in our community, like the YMCA's programs, Boys and Girls Clubs, etc. And so we talked about integrating these services, and somebody said, "Aha, this reminds me of an Ethiopian proverb. When spider webs unite, you can catch a lion." And we all just jaws dropped and said, that's what we are doing, and that's what we're going to be called.
And so since then, in this past year, I was in awe when you said it's only been a year, because it feels like so much more. You have organized a community walk, a unity walk. You have implemented sports programs in neighborhoods. You've implemented tutoring. Give us a highlight of some of the initiatives and strategies that you have done through Lion Catchers.
Okay, thank you. Well, we focus on tutoring in the schools. That's during the school day, after school, and in the apartments. We do enrichment. A lot of these kids in our community don't participate in extracurricular activities, so we're giving them a chance to do that either in the schools or at their apartment complexes or wherever in the community. We're doing community leader development, which includes youth and adults, and we're doing crime and violence reduction. So some of the things we've done is we've had a soccer program, a basketball program, an art program, a dance program, a Zumba program. We started tutoring in 3 different locations in the community for elementary and middle school kids. We've beefed up the amount of tutoring in our elementary schools by a large amount, about nearly 50% overall. And we've just now started a leadership development program for high school and middle school youth.
So you're partnering with North Central.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we partner with North Central.
And tell us, you did a call out for students who may be interested and may just come and trickle in and think, oh, a couple of kids may be interested. What was the turnout?
Well, I was blown away, like I have been all year long. I've been blown away at every turn. And Mr. Brannigan, he did a super job talking to the faculty. First of all, that's where it started. And Mr. Brannigan saw the potential in this, and he went with an amazing amount of enthusiasm to his faculty in talking about the potential with lion catchers. Some of the faculty immediately sparked and wanted to be a part of it. I was invited to a call-out meeting where Doc Miller had done some advertising, and we had 18 kids show up at 6:50 in the morning, and I was blown away. And then I came back for the after school program, about 250, and there were 67 kids to learn about lion catchers. And many of them are actually participating as tutors for us right now.
That's great.
It's
That's
awesome.
wonderful. And this is all volunteer work. If someone is listening to this in our community who is seeing this Soup Scoop and says, wow, I want to be a part of this amazing thing called lion catchers, what can they do?
Well, go to lioncatcher.org, and you'll see the website, and there's a place there where you can volunteer, or you can get a hold of Tom Lange, probably through Dr. Woodson's office. You can find a way to get a hold of me, and we'll get you involved, whether it's in enrichment, leadership development, or tutoring.
And you've even sought assistance. Obviously, everyone is volunteers, but you've received support supplies and resources from Washington Township Schools, and the Washington Township Schools Foundation also gave you a grant.
Oh, yeah. I think we have maybe 3 grants already approved by the foundation. One of them was for computers, so when we do tutoring in the community, we have now 5 laptop computers, all purchased by a grant from the foundation, and that allows us to have the kids into Lexia or MobiMax or one of the learning systems that they're already familiar with. They provided a grant for soccer balls and soccer goals and that kind of thing, and I'm sure there's a third one. I can't remember what it is.
We appreciate the support of the foundation to community organizations, volunteers who are supporting with wraparound services our schools. We certainly appreciate all that Lion Catchers is doing. It has been an overwhelming experience to see this thing launch from a seed idea into what it is today, and I can only imagine what it's going to become tomorrow. So on behalf of Washington Township Schools, I appreciate you and your leadership of the Lion Catchers organization. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us, Washington Township community. I certainly hope that you go to the website to see how you also can have an impact here in Washington Township to support our entire community. We could not have superior schools in Washington Township without such a supportive community.